Thank you, Hashem. Thank you, Hashem. Thank you, Hashem. Thank you, Hashem.
Hi everyone. In this week's video, we're going to be discussing eggplant. Eggplant is a vegetable that is beloved across the world. It is a fixture on the Shabbos table in all the different Eidot, be it Ashkenazi, Sephardi, Hasidish. Many people enjoy their eggplants. And while the problem of infestation in eggplant is generally speaking less than many other fruits and vegetables we've discussed, they do have certain problems that need to be addressed, and it needs to be prepared in a specific manner. The bugs that generally infest eggplants range from mites, sometimes thrips, rarely aphids, and those are all external infestations. However, it also sometimes suffers from internal infestations of various species of caterpillar that will burrow their way in and make a nest within the eggplant. Now let's take a quick look at some of the infestations that you may find in an eggplant. So here we have some mites. They are walking underneath the leaves of the eggplant. Generally speaking, external infestations will be found under the leaves. The leaves offer protection for the insects from being washed off. They also protect it if one would roast or grill their eggplant. It would kill the mite, but the leaves would protect it in a way that the mite would retain its full form and still be considered a barrier. Now let's take a look at some of the rare internal infestations that you might find in an eggplant. Here we have some caterpillars, some moth larvae that have burrowed their way and made themselves a little home within the inside of the eggplant. Now that we've seen the infestations in the eggplant, let's discuss how we can clean our eggplant in a thorough way that will allow us to eat it without any problems. So this is a fairly standard eggplant. It is very clean. There doesn't seem to be any blemishes anywhere on the eggplant. Generally speaking, when we're worried, as we said, we're worried about bugs under these leaves. They can crawl all the way up. And while these do not enter, the insects that hide under these leaves do not enter the eggplant itself, they do hide beneath the leaves. And therefore, we will either need to cut off this section of the eggplant and down, or one can take a knife and simply cut off the green, in this way leaving the eggplant, generally speaking, whole. Once that is done, a person should rinse their eggplant well, maybe giving it a small scrub of the hand, but generally because of the smooth skin of the eggplant, anything that is on the outside of the eggplant will wash off. However, if one wants to use their eggplant whole, they need to make sure there are no outward simanim of infestation, like this hole that we have right here, that you can see that something burrowed its way into the eggplant. However, if one is going to be slicing the eggplant, it's not so much of a concern, because generally speaking, if you slice it and there's an internal infestation, if you're slicing it or cubing it, you will come across the part that is infested. However, if you're planning on roasting the eggplant whole, it is kedai to make sure that your eggplant is whole on the outside with no signs of internal infestation. And with this, we should be zeiche to be able to clean our fruits and vegetables, specifically our eggplants, of any sort of infestation, and we should be zeiche to eat our eggplant the way the Ribono Shel Olam intended.